And welcome back to MGD 111 Photoshop. We're going to continue looking at advanced selection tools. Now I have a selection that I made in the last video here. If you don't have that saved, go ahead and select the area that we're looking at here. Today we're going to look at another option under our select menu, which is the modify option. Now you may see smooth and feather. Those sound familiar, don't they? Well, those were contained in the Refine Edge menu. The other ones, Expand and Contract and Border, are separate. Expand simply, let's see, it says expand by 1 pixel. Let's expand by 20 pixels and click OK. And you can see what it does is it just moves your selection 20 pixels out. Let's undo that. As you may have guessed, when I go to Modify, Contract, if I contract by 20 pixels, it'll shrink the selection in. So again, those are similar to what we saw in our Refine Edges menu. Watch out though, there was a tiny little anomaly right here, and it decided to make a hole around that particular pixel that wasn't selected. So you really want to be careful with those options. But again, those 4 options right there are all in your Refine menu. But here's a cool one. Go to Select, Modify, Border. Now this is pretty neat. Watch what happens here. I'm going to make my border selection fairly wide, 15 pixels. I'm going to click OK. And what that does is it takes the line where my border used to be, and it expands it 15 degrees or 15 pixels in each direction here. So you can see now my selection is an outline of my previous selection. If I were to, I have my background color selected black, by the way. If I were to hit the delete button here and fill it with background color, you'll notice it creates this black line around my image. That's kind of a cool thing. Now I had used a feathered image before, which is why it's so soft. But it's kind of neat. You can actually create an outline around something using this. Play around with that exact option, because that is a really cool thing that you can use for, it's for artistic effect. But I really like what you can do with this. It actually goes along really nicely with this face that I drew on this cup here. It makes it look even more cartoony, if you can believe that. So that's the Modify Select tool. And again, most of these only work when they have the when you have a selection here. So hang on to that, and we'll come back to it in a minute.